Okay, you've finished the moving balance sheet exercise, and now it's time to move into the first round, which is the January round. Now, in this round, we're going to tell you exactly what to do. So this is building on what you've already learned from the moving balance sheet exercise. So the first thing you're going to do is swipe right. And now we're going to essentially start the business again. So we're going to do exactly the same process. We're going to use the checklist. You'll notice the January checklist is a little bit longer. It also includes a market, but in this market there is no competition. Everybody who participates in the January round will achieve the same outcome. So we're going to press the help screen, and without further ado, we're going to do exactly what it says. So as before, we go to invest. This time we're putting 40 in, and as you remember, we pull the 40 white coins and place them in share capital. We've now got 40 silver coins representing cash, and put that in the cash area. Now, we're not completing a balance sheet as we go through this particular exercise, but at the end we will do a profit and loss account, and then we'll do the balance sheet at the very end. So now we're going to buy a yellow machine, same as we did before. Move the 5 across, and sure enough, there we are. Now, we didn't do this last time, but obviously if we bought a machine, we're going to have to recruit staff to operate it. So it costs 3 to recruit staff. So we're going to enter 3, grab 3 silver coins, and move them up to recruit staff. Now, this is a familiar command. We're going to have to buy stock. So we move our mouse over to suppliers. Up comes our supplier purchase order. Again, our capacity is 6, so we're going to buy 6, and that's a value of 12. We're going to place that order. And now we're going to have to pay for stock. Unfortunately, we're still a new business, so we're going to have to pay this from our cash. And as you recall, the 12 red coins represent how much we owe our suppliers. So as we move the cash across to the red coins, they will cancel each other out. Now, normally a market icon will come up and you will pay 1 for every bid that you make in the market. But for this example, as I said, everybody's going to be doing the same thing. So you're only going to be paying 2 on the assumption that you attempted to compete for 2 customers' orders in the marketplace itself. So again, we'll follow that. We move the 2 up to promotion. And now it says here prepare quotations. Well, this is showing you the 2 quotes that you have submitted, and in fact everybody else has submitted, but it's for customer Y1 and 60-day payment terms, and we have suggested a price of 43. And for Y2, we've suggested a price of 47. So I'm going to close that up now. And once we've paid for our promotion and we've looked at the bids that we've made, we're now going to press the end phase button. And again, there's the confirmation text. Do we really want to do this? Have we completed everything that we need to do? And the answer is yes, we have. And now we're going to swipe to the right and move to the second part of the exercise. Now you can see that the delivery record is flashing again, so we have to make our deliveries. So we're going to click on the delivery record, and we only won one of the orders, which was order for customer Y1. This was for a quantity of 6, and they're prepared to pay 43. So the cost of the goods sold, well, we know each one costs 2, so 6 times 2 is 12. And we know that's correct because the green tick has been applied. So we get 43, cost of goods is 12, 43 minus 12 means that the profit is 31. Once we've successfully completed the delivery record, the deliver option comes up. Now, later on in the simulation, if you win more than 1 customer order, you can only deliver 1 customer at a time. So we're going to deliver this now. Now you'll notice the payment terms are 60 days. So we're having to move the cash that the customer's paid onto the 60 days here. We'll now close the delivery record, and now we have to pay rent. We haven't bought the factory, we're actually renting the factory. And this is going to be a cost of 4, which again we have to pay from our cash. So we move the 4 across and place it in the rent box. And now, as before, we have to pay wages. Wages for people working on the yellow machine is 4. Remember, if you want to check the rules, the wages for those working on a yellow machine are indeed 4. You'll notice that there are higher wages when they work on blue or green machines. So let's pay wages, put a 4 in here, grab the 4 and move that across to wages. Excellent. Now we have to pay administrative costs. Again, we're going to do exactly what it says in the help screen. We're going to enter a 4 in here and move 4 across to admin. Finally, we have to show depreciation on the new machine. Remember, we show depreciation every 3 months and we pay the depreciation in the first month of those 3 months. So again, I'm going to hit the help button, hover over the machine value, hit depreciate, grab the 1 and move it across here into depreciate. Now, we have to complete our profit and loss account. And you're familiar with when an icon flashes up here, that's where we're going to have to click on it, open it up and do something. So we'll open it up. Now, as a bit of a hint here, the first 3 areas we have to fill in the profit and loss account, we can get straight from our delivery record. So the total sales revenue is 43. So I put the 43 in there. The total cost of our goods is 12. Put the 12 in there. And the profit we know is 31. Okay, now we can close the delivery record. Now, to complete the expenses areas, we just need to look at the board. So the first one is, what were our expenses for recruiting staff? The answer was it's 3, because I can see 3 silver coins on there. For promotion, well, we bid for 2 customer orders, so that's a 2, because there are 2 silver coins on the promotion box. Rent, we can see that the rent here is 4, so we can enter 4 in here. Staff wages, again, we can see 4 on staff wages. And finally, administration, again, we can see a 4 on administration. Now we need to add all of those up. 3 plus 2 is 5, plus 4 is 9, plus 4 is 13, plus 4 is a total of 17. If you need to use a calculator here, that's no problem at all. There's no time limit on completing this profit and loss account. 17 is correct, well done. So our EBITDA then is going to be our profit here, our gross profit of 31 minus our total expenses. 31 minus 17 is 14, so we're going to enter 14 there. Now we have to do depreciation. This is this part of the board here. The depreciation cost was 1, so we put a 1 in there. And we take 1 away from 14, which means our net profit is 13. Now our retained earnings from last month, well, there was no last month because this is our first month in business, so we're just going to enter a 0 in there. It's definitely 13 in there, we've just calculated it. 13 plus 0 means it's a total of 13. We've now successfully completed the profit and loss account, and now we just have to change our retained earnings to reflect what our profit and loss account is. So what we're going to have to do is hit the adjust button, and I think we've said our profit is 13, so we're going to hit that. Right, we've now completed our profit and loss account, but there's another icon flashing now, which is the good old balance sheet. So our current balance sheet. And again, we can get the information from what we can see in the simulation. So cash, we currently have 6 in cash. We have debtors due from customers. Well, we have in 60 days, we have 43. Stock or inventory, well, we have absolutely nothing, so the value of our stock is 0. So our total current assets are just adding those 3 together. So 43 plus 6 is 49. Now, our current liabilities, we don't have any current liabilities because we paid our suppliers in cash. Subsequent rounds where we may take supplier credit, there might well be a number we fill in there, but it's a 0 for today. So the net working capital is our total current assets minus what we have as a liability. Well, 49 minus 0 gives us a total of 49. Now our fixed assets have a value, and our machine, because we've depreciated it by 1, has a value of 4. And therefore our net assets will be our net working capital plus our fixed assets. 49 plus 4 is 53. Now, do we have any bank loans out? No, we don't, so we put a 0 in there. What's our share capital? Our share capital is 40. What's our retained earnings? Well, we can see it's 13, so we'll put a 13 in there. Total equity worth of the business would be 40 plus 13, which is 53. And then our total financing would be our total equity plus any bank loans we have. There are no bank loans, so 53 plus 0 is 53. And sure enough, it would appear that our net assets match our total financing, which is excellent. So our balance sheet does balance. And as it says here, well done, we've successfully completed the balance sheet for the month of January. I hope that was easy enough, and I hope by referring to this video you will be able to complete the January round and be much more familiar with how to operate the simulation. So we hit the end phase button, as always confirming have we done everything that we should do. It's always a good idea to open up the checklist. Are all the ticks there? Yes, they are. So I know it's going to be all right to end the phase. Just be aware in subsequent rounds there are some activities which are optional. So you won't always see these ticked. They'll just be the ones you've ticked to make sure that you've done everything that you plan to do for that particular round. So I can close up that checklist, hit the yes button, and there we are. Anyway, good luck with the January round, and I'm sure you'll be able to complete it successfully.